It's another initiative to move the country to first world status. The Bahamas welcoming a credit bureau to its financial services. Here to talk about the bureau is Kevin DeMerit, who is the External Relations Officer and Senior Economist in the Governor's Office of the Central Bank. Mr. DeMerit, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
It's very good to be here.
Well, tell us, credit bureau. I think those two words are scary for some people. Should they be?
Not really. A credit bureau is really only an agency that collects information about how we manage our financial affairs. That's all a credit bureau is, and makes that information available to both individuals and to companies who may potentially want to offer those individuals some form of credit.
Now, in the global scope of things, why is that important to us? We haven't had one up to this point.
Well, most developed economies have a credit bureau. A credit bureau, in this case, allows an economy to move forward because once individuals and institutions have a more concrete and comprehensive idea of an individual's financial situation, then they all can make more informed decisions about products and services.
Now, tell me how this will work. Is it a point system? We know that legislation is about a year old now, and the back office work is being done to get this going. Tell me about that.
Well, right now, each individual, if we take banks, for example, each individual banks have their own credit system. And they look at an individual and they look at your application and they make a decision about whether or not they're willing to issue you some form of credit. Well, what will happen now is that the credit bureau, when it collects this information, will now have one comprehensive set of information that everybody can look at. You can look at your credit, your bank can look at, your cooperative credit union can look at, and then we can now look and decide whether or not you are the ideal candidate for credit. But what it will also do, Keisha, it will allow you to look at your situation and say, okay, how can I make the necessary changes to get me to where I want to go?
Now, final question, how far away is this from reality for us?
So the legislation was passed in February of last year. And right now, the central bank is in the process of licensing the institution that will run the credit bureau. We expect once that licensing process has been completed, it will be another 18 to 24 months as they collect information, and they collate that information, they make sure that the person that they have is the person that they want to talk to, and then it's only then that they'll be in a position to issue a credit report. So we're looking at 18 to 24 months once the license has been issued by the central bank.
All right, thank you very much for that information. Kevin DeMerit of the Central Bank, thanks for joining us on the Bahamas tonight.
I appreciate it.